In addition to doing ad hoc conference calls, you can also schedule meetings and conference calls through Outlook. So if you go into your calendar on Outlook and then choose New Link Meeting, you can schedule this just like any other Outlook appointment. You can add lists of attendees. Um, you can schedule it for different times, set recurrences, just like anything else. You'll get an email, and this will send out to any of your attendees, that'll have a link that you can click on to join the Lync meeting. If you're on a computer that doesn't have Lync installed, it'll open the Lync in a web browser, and it'll install a web-based Lync client that'll allow you to connect up to the meeting. The installation for that is fairly quick. It'll also give you a phone number that you can call on any regular phone in order to connect up to the meeting that way, and it'll give you the conference ID number that it'll prompt you for. If you're designated as the leader for the meeting, it'll also ask you for your PIN number that we talked about setting up earlier. Now, there are also some meeting options that we might want to take a look at. If you just do the meeting with the default options, it's going to go into your dedicated meeting space. Everyone on Lync has a dedicated meeting space set aside, and they can host whatever conferences or meetings that they would like through there. Now, that is a little bit, as it says, less secure. It gives anyone from EKU presenter rights to the meeting, which will give them all of the options for the presenter tools that we'll cover later. It also doesn't let you set any other permissions very well. If you want to do more permissions, especially if you're going to be discussing something that's a little more sensitive, you'll want to choose a new meeting space, and that'll unlock all of these options here. So you can set up a lobby to your meeting, and you can decide who gets to join into the call and who has to wait in the lobby until the call formally begins. So if you wanted to have just members of your department who are on this call have a sort of a pre-meeting strategy session, you could do that, before the actual conference call begins using this. You can also choose whether or not the system will announce when people enter or leave the call, which could be useful if you need to take attendance. You can also set who is going to be a presenter, and the presenter is going to have a lot of tools. They can mute the other attendees, they can share their screen or programs that they're running, set up polls for the meeting. There's a variety of different tools that we'll cover later on. But you can choose here who all on the call is going to be counting as a presenter and who will just be an attendee. You can also disable some parts of the meeting. You can disable the instant messaging features. You can mute anyone who's not a presenter, like all of the attendees, and you can also block video recording. So that's just a set of tools that you'll want to keep in mind when you're creating Lync meetings. Whether or not, if it's just a quick, fairly informal meeting or something just between, to hash out a few details, your dedicated meeting space is probably fine. If it's going to be more formal or deal with sensitive matters, you'll probably want to consider choosing a new meeting space and then setting the permissions appropriately as a result.